Hey, what's going on, guys? Threat Level Midnight here, and I apologize for not having a video for you last week. Life got a little busy with the kids and work and whatnot, so I had to delay it by a week. But what I got for you today is a topic that's come up with a lot of people and even with me is the M1A reliable? Now, if you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I've done my longest series of videos on the M1A. I started with a quest to accurize the M1A and then do load development for it, and then eventually I stacked it up accuracy-wise against a bolt gun out to 750 yards, and it performed fantastic. Reliability never even came up when I did all my testing because it just runs. It was never even a question if it was reliable or not. And it was so reliable and so much fun to shoot that I even mounted an offset red dot and took it to a 3-gun match in the heavy metal division and ended up cleaning house at a match with it. And once again, reliability was never an issue. And then I fast forward to last weekend where I shot another 3-gun match with it because it's such a fun gun to shoot. And it really pooped the bed, if you will. And what happened was it in essence turned into a bolt action rifle where the magazines were feeding a couple rounds at a time, and now I have 10, 12 M1A mags. And there's a few that I've been using for, since I've done my testing, and they run reliably. I ended up forgetting those at the match and pulling them from a bin of unknown mags. And it really caused a lot of problems where I was getting a malfunction every other round, sometimes back-to-back rounds, and it was extremely frustrating. So I'll show you some clips of how this gun works when it actually runs correct, and then put it up against some clips of when the gun is just feeding terribly, and you guys can just kind of look at that and see the problem that I faced here. And initially I thought it was the ammunition, and what I was running was the 168 grain Sierra Match King out of this thing with IMR 4064 powder, 43 grains of it, and it ran phenomenal. It shot super tight groups, and I started running my press over here, running bulk 147 grain full metal jacket, running the same powder charge, same specs, just running it to the exact same specifications as the 168, same overall length, same powder charge. And then I started having the malfunctions. So I switched back to the 168s and I continued having those malfunctions. So I was on a quest to figure out, like, hey, what's going on with this thing? Like, that's a huge problem, and I haven't experienced it before with the M1A. So what I did to remedy that was I ordered a bunch of new mags. So I ordered, let me set this down here. I ordered some mags that were straight from Springfield, these 20 rounders, and they were maybe like $44 on Gun Mag Warehouse. So they're not a cheap mag, that's for sure. And it's all steel. It's heavy duty. It's like nitrided, so good finish, but they're expensive, almost as much as like a Scar 17 mag. And then I also saw for about half the price in the low 20s mags, these 20 rounders from ProMag. And when I look at them, there's some distinct differences here. So just the finish, the ProMags look like they're blued, and the Springfields look like they're parkerized. And then you can see in the spot welds, you probably can't see it here, maybe I'll show you up close, is that you could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 spot welds on the Springfield mag. And on the Pro Mag, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9 up here where it feeds into the gun. And these spot welds on the Pro Mag are significantly smaller than the spot welds on the Springfield mag. So I have no experience with the ProMag ones, and I have limited experience with the Springfield ones, because what I've been using have been these mags. These are H&R, and these are actually Korean reproductions. I didn't know I was using Korean mags for a long time until I looked it up over the weekend. And then a couple of these are unmarked, but they're just regular GI, like old school mags. So when I came back from the shooting match, I was going to the drawing board and I was like, hey, what went wrong here? Like, why were they feeding so poorly? And what happened is I ended up looking at my mags that I was using at the match, and I measured them out. I measured the distance between the two feed lips with my new mags that had just come in, and they were significantly spaced apart. They were at like 0.63, 0.68 inches, and a factory mag was at like 0.52. So you could see it when you look at them. When you looked at them from the top down, you could see like, hey, this is like a significant problem. and you could see the curvature of the feed lip around the ammunition where it wouldn't hold at all, where you could tap the mag on the ground or on anything and it would just spit ammunition out of it, or you would feed one round and then the second round would feed out of it. And that was exactly the problem I was facing. And I'm kind of kicking myself for not realizing it at the match, like, hey, maybe if I just grab some pliers, bend these feed lips, maybe it'll fix it. But I didn't, and then I suffered the consequences. So I didn't end up losing the match completely at the bottom, but I performed pretty darn poor with this rifle because of the feeding issues that I encountered. So what I did is I went home, I bent all the feed lips back to spec, which changes where the follower sits in the mag, and I'll show that to you guys here. You can see where an out-of-spec follower sticks up significantly higher than the in-spec ones do. And what that does is it allows the mag to feed more ammunition than it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do now is, one, I'm going to go out to the range and I'm going to test all of my old mags and see how they perform. And then I'm going to test the ProMags and the Springfield mags to see if there's a difference between all of those different ones, if my problem is fixed, and if one mag is significantly better than the other. So let's head out to the range and we'll go ahead and give it a shot. All right, guys, so we're out at the range, and before we start, I did clean this thing out before we're shooting it today. So clean the hell out of it. Piston's nice and clean. Some people were asking, like, hey, did the reliability, did it go down because your gas plug loosened up? And it did loosen up a little bit when I was shooting the match, but I had cinched it back down in between stages, so it shouldn't be a problem. It's all wrenched down today. Everything's greased up. Gun should be running fine. So what I have today is just a boatload of mags. I have all my mags here, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Korean mags, and I'll see if you can focus right here. These ones are stamped HNR, so these are Korean production mags. And then I have a couple of unmarked. These are just original, like, GI mags. And then I have 2 new production ProMag 20 rounders, and then 2 new production Springfield. So we're just going to run through, first of all of my old mags and just see how they work, and then we'll start getting into the new ones. I loaded all the old ones with 4 rounds apiece, and I'm just going to go through some reloads with them and make sure they feed and lock the bolt open on the last round, see if bending the feed lips fixed them, and then I'll start running into some longer courses of fire with the full mags, the new Springfield and ProMag ones, and see how we do. So I'm going to be reloading off my HRT Maximus chest rig with the heavy inserts. Basically what I'm going to do is just start with my Korean mags, run through just on a timer, just run 2 rounds each target, and then just roll into reloads from there. And I just want to see the reliability of all of them. So like I say, they're each loaded with 4 rounds. It's going to force a reload after I engage the second target. Let's get to it. Alrighty. All right, so far the Korean mags are doing pretty darn good. And if we can take the camera and look down range, accuracy is not so bad either. So today I wanted to have a big focus on just working short drills with small targets here. And I'm not working, that was 20 seconds, 20.11. But what I'm trying to do is just maintain perfect accuracy while we do this. And just get the feel for this gun, make sure I can build my trust in it again since the last match went so poorly. So let's continue on with the Korean mags. And if you haven't been following my videos, this is my M1A that I put together here. It has a Diamondback Tactical by Vortex on here. It's the first focal plane. And then I'm running an offset Vortex Viper red dot. Not thrilled about the battery life of the Viper series red dots, but it does a good job, especially if you're just using it for like shooting matches and you don't need to shake awake and stuff. So let's run that drill again, see if we can pick up the speed a little bit and maintain our accuracy. All right, that was round 2 of the Korean mags, and so far I'm kind of leaning to believe that the problem was just the feed lips. That was 2085, and it looks like maybe I threw one shot just low on my little circles out there. But so let's move into, I have one Korean mag left, and I'll start with that one. And then I have 2 of these old school like GI mags that they feel and look like the Springfield ones, but they're just not stamped. The spot welding's the same as the Springfield, so we'll give these a try. All right, so that's a pass for all of them, for bolt lock and for a function. So overall, I'm happy about that. I'm kind of kicking myself that I went a whole match and it could have just been the feed lips the whole time. I should have just bent them back together and it would have fixed it. But let's take a look at our accuracy over here. And that last run was 1793, and my reloads got a little smoother. Everything's in over here. And like I say, on the previous run, I dropped one out. This one's on the line. But gun is a super accurate gun, super fun to shoot. And, you know, I'm on a quest to find out, you know, is it reliable? And I think the answer is yeah, when you have good mags. But I'm going to put together a course of fire here, and we'll start running the ProMag and the Springfield new production mags and see how those go as well. All right, ProMags, here we go. All right, time 17:34. So far, our ProMag's looking good. Let's do it again. Okay, so after that first round, just looks like the floor plate's kind of sliding off of this mag. I'll see if I can just slide it back into position, and then we'll get going again. All right, so looking at the ProMag here, it's kind of got a U-shaped cutout right here to fit around this tab. But you can see the tab that should be dropping into the back of the magazine, it just doesn't want to. So as much as I shove this thing down, it just doesn't want to go. So I have a feeling that this floor plate's going to want to slide. I don't think it's going to slide all the way out, but I'll see later on the workbench if I can maybe clean this thing out. Maybe I need to remove some material to get this thing to drop in and seat where it's supposed to. But let's run this again. All right, so here's round 2 with the ProMag. It's going to force a reload this time around, so I'll get a reload in, see how these things feel locking up with the gun. Here we go. Miss. That run felt good. I switched over to the fresh mag, and this one seems to be seated just fine, so no issues there. I did miss a shot back there, so wah. I'll slow down on the next run. All right, we're going to switch up the course of fire a little bit here. I'm going to start on the paper targets and then work my way back to the steel. So I'm going to engage 2 right, 2 left, engage 2 on the left steel, and then 2 on the right steel. All right, here we go. All right, so far ProMag's running strong. Rounds left in the ProMag here, so I'm just going to empty them out on steel. And bolt lock up. So other than the floor plate on the, these seem to be doing okay. Now we moved on to the Springfield mags. Hopes are high for these, but when I was loading them, they felt kind of like a little stiff, like maybe they need to be cleaned out and greased up. So this is just right out of the bag. Hopefully these ones work fine. Switched up our course of fire a little bit to finish off here. All right, here we go. All right, so far so good. Floor plate's intact. Let's run that again. All right, so I'm going to run that again. This one should force a reload. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start on the right side target this time, though, or the left side target. Sorry. All right, that felt good. All right, guys, so we shot close to a couple hundred rounds out of the M1A today. It functioned 100% reliably, and I was actually really happy with the GI mags, the Korean mags, the Springfield mags ran just fine. And the only issue I did have was with this one ProMag. One of them was totally fine. This one, it just looks like maybe this little bend right here, like they bent it before the floor plate was seated. I'm gonna bend this back when I get home, and it should just drop the floor plate in. But you can see right here, that was the only defect there, and it's kind of a quality control thing. But at the end of the day, all the old mags that I had worked just fine, just with the feed lips bent back into spec. Makes me a little bit weary of keeping them loaded all the time, keeping that much spring tension on them, knowing that the feed lips are kind of prone to opening up. So I'll probably leave them unloaded for the most part. But as far as the trust issue goes, I'm back to trusting the M1A again. It ran flawless. It's super fun to shoot, and all these mags work great. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Like, comment, subscribe.